How do guys, Luke here again at Luke's APS, and today we're going to talk about some bush.
There's many cheap, quick and easy ways to make hedges, bushes, bocage, whatever you want to call them in this hobby. Whether that be using Brillo pad like this, a matter of just stretching it out, sticking it down and away you go. Problem is with this is it does rust and break down over time. You could use rubberized horsehair. It's a lot sturdier, it's a lot more firmer, and it possibly is one of the better products to use. But I'm not a big fan of the look. But what people do is they just spray it with a spray can and some spray glue, chuck some flock on, and then they're done. Which they're more than acceptable for wargaming bushes, very tabletop ready. I'm not very happy with the overall look, so I've put this video together to show you how I make it. Now what I start off with is a bit of foam board or plastic card or whatever you want to base it on. The reason I can use something this soft is because I can use my modelling compound on it to firm it all up later. But if you are going to make some without using modelling compound, using something like Das Clay, please use a firmer basing tool like MDF. Now, I'm measuring them all out to 2 inch because I'm going to have them about 1.5 inches tall. If you was going to make them about 2 inch to 3 inch tall, extend your base an extra inch outwards. It gives you more room to play with and it also makes the model more stable. I use a set square just to line it all up and keep it as square as possible and as straight as possible. Just mark it out with a pencil first, so when we get to cutting it, you can follow the lines easier. Now I'm using a rotary cutter. I bought this just as just something to try, something a bit different, and I really like it. They're only about £10 on Amazon. They come with quite a few blades, and they're very sharp. I seem to cut a lot straighter using it. I don't know why, but a very good tool if you do struggle cutting straight lines. Check the Amazon link below where you can find the cheapest one that I found that works really well. So yeah, nice little tool. We cut them to 6 inch long. This is just so if you put them in a straight line on a board, you don't have any overhang or they're too short. And what we also do is we cut some down the middle to create right angles and T-shapes. So when you're making up your fields, you can make them quite modular. Now you could make these any shapes you want, like S shapes. Just, you know, the world's your oyster with this. Just cut them up and just try and keep them as to size as possible. So 6 inch, 4 inch, just keep them equal. Now for the T-shape, I was going to just cut the centre out, like a 2 inch centre out, but then if you use an A4 sheet like I've done, the bits we cut off the end of the strips to make them 6 inches are perfectly the right size. So you can make as many T-shapes as you want with the offcuts. So once you've got your right angles and your T-shapes, how we connect all them together is I just like to stick lollipop sticks on there, just to hold them in place, because the modelling compound turns to like a stone once it's on there. It's not going to move. Now if you wasn't going to use modelling compound, you're going to use something like Das, you could just thread brass rod through it, or you could thread like cocktail sticks or just something to join it together and then glue them down like this. Or cut the shapes out perfectly so there's no splits. I've just done this because I'm terrible at cutting. Now to build up the mass of earth underneath the bus or the bush structure, whatever you want to call it, I'm just using some more offcuts of foam board because we're going to build up the product on top. Now the products I'm using is the Luke's APS modelling compound. It's a paper and plaster mix that dries in around 20 minutes. So all you're going to do is add some water to it and paste it on like this. You can mould it and it's very malleable, and it just it's so hard when it's dry. It makes it so they're really robust and they're not going to damage or warp or anything like that. So just put it on, smush it round till you've covered everything up and you've created like your base sort of shape and everything with it, and then we'll get on to painting. Now for painting them, all I did was just spray them black and then chuck some ready brown on top. Now what we're going to be doing is putting on the actual bush structure itself. So I use the Luke's APS basing glue because it dries very quickly and it is very, very tacky. You could use a spray glue or anything else, but I just like this because it's a lot cheaper than using spray glues. Now, spread that on all over. It is very messy and sticky, so watch yourself. But once you've got that all over there, after about a minute or so, it becomes very, very sticky. Now we peel off the canopy sheet, which is the new moss that we're selling as a tree canopy. It also works very well for bushes. Literally just pull bits off and stick it down. Now one thing I did try and play with this is I cut bits off and then I put some more basing glue on top of the moss, and in areas I stuck more down on top of it, and that gives you that sort of raised and lowered parts of it, and it blends into itself very well, and it also sticks to itself very well. So using the canopy kit, which is very cheap, you can create quite a lot of bushes very, very nicely and look very good. Now, once it's on there, we are going to be flocking it, but a lot of people have said it looks quite nice on its own, which it does. It has some nice colours in there. You could spray paint it, but I like to flock it. So as before, at the beginning of this video, we use a Luke's APS 2-in-1 flock, and we just literally sprinkle that all over. There is a spray glue on there. I like to use a yacht varnish because it's very tacky, but you could use any spray glue. Once that's on and you've got it completely covered and let it dry for about half an hour, I just put some of the Luke's APS basing glue on the bottom, and then we use some of the Arid Earth base ready just to sprinkle over, just to quickly do the basing. If you have got a bit more time, there's nothing wrong with painting a base or sculpting some like debris and everything else into the earth mound, but I just thought for speed I'll chuck some of the Luke's APS base ready on there. And then within minutes you've got some nice bush and yeah, it's ready for game. Once you've got it all set out, that's what it's going to look like with your trees and a few other bits using this product. Yeah, so check it out in the links below, guys. It is at www.geekgaming.co.uk, and it's a nice cheap way of making bocage, bushes, trees and whatever at a very affordable and quick price, and takes them up to the next level. So guys, that's why I like to put a little bit of extra effort into my bocage, just because it makes it a little bit nicer to look at. Now that is a very simple, basic way of doing it. If you are interested, I will do ways of making it with like walls going through it, fences and gates. So I might even do it so we can cast them and reproduce them quickly. So if you're doing like bolt action, you could spend like a couple of days making a little set, and then I'll show you how you can cast that and keep reproducing them if you've got a big board that you're working on and you don't want to make all of them. It's a little bit dearer doing it that way, but it's a lot quicker. So it depends on how you want to do things, but it means we can make some really nice bocage that we can just cast up and play with. So I can show you that as well. But put in the comments below what you think, and I'm gonna have to sort what's going off in there. In a bit.
Check out all the products from Geek Gaming at the link below, and all my Amazon affiliate stuff. Don't forget to give it a like, a comment and a share, and love, love, love.
What the f are you doing?
Oh.
Look at this. Don't forget to subscribe to Wargamer Viking.
And wear your seatbelt.
Yeah, wear your seatbelt.
However Luke does it. Oh, I missed.
Just throw it at me.
I can't reach.
Pro life.